Happy Wednesday, November 9th, 11:02 a.m. Eastern Time. So a little bit of a late start today. That is really my fault entirely. I wasn't totally behind today, but I just got late preparing and got up really early because of the dog situation. The dog situation persists despite one of them being gone. All right, adding Doug here in just a second, and we'll get into it. Hey, Doug.
Good morning.
Morning. Always count on Doug for a song or a dance when he shows up.
Yeah.
Especially today. I had an early wake up this morning. We had anxiety-ridden dog now that he lost his companion.
Yes.
So he was up and at him bright and early this morning, and I got up with him. So anyway, went back to sleep, but just sort of changes the morning around.
Well,
So what?
I'm feeling a little bit more rested and a lot more positive than I anticipated being this morning. So that's good.
That is good. Glad to hear it. I just saw that our recording stopped, Doug, on Cast. If you can restart that, that'd be awesome.
Yes. Okay.
All right, good. Well, I'm glad you are rested and positive. I'm also kind of well rested despite the strange sleep today. I've been doing the non-alcoholic beer or the less than 0.5% beers for trying to do that during the weekdays, and then weekends free to do whatever I want. Any kind of recreational drugs, anything goes on weekends. But that's actually not true. I mean, I have a little bit of wine on the weekend.
I think you should clarify that. That's definitely not true.
But anyway, I think I've been sleeping better as a result. So I'm excited about that because that's been a long time thing for me.
Good.
Not sleeping well. Yeah. So
are you sticking to the athletic beers or Guinness or what are you doing?
This week has been my tour of athletic brewing beers.
Okay.
Yesterday I had the light. I guess it's called I forget. I'm not prepared to give a full review yet, but I had their light lager and it was very delicious. I'm really liking them. And also, Doug, in the background, I've arranged. I mean, I did almost nothing, but for you to get yourself some athletic brewing. Our ambassador has actually the one who figured out how we can do that. So once you are ready for some beers, you got to let me know what you want, and I can pass that along.
All right. Well, let's do it. I love this ambassador. She's hooking us up. She's great.
I know. Maybe we'll crack one open on the show one day. That wouldn't be that weird, right?
Not at 11 o'clock. Not at 11 a.m. Yeah.
People drink martinis at lunch anyway. Real ones. So
that's true. That's true. We can pretend like we're in the airport, and then you're free to drink alcohol at any time ever.
That's a good point. That is a weird thing about airports. I actually kind of like that. I mean, I like seeing it. I don't usually participate because I don't know. I feel like that's just a bad moment to be so mixed up with the times that the beer at 7 o'clock sounds good.
I have that feeling as well. It's like the last place I want to be, making the poor decisions is in an airport. So I don't know why I'd start my day with that.
Unsupervised, and all kinds of things could go wrong.
Matt, the link has been sent if you want
to. Okay, thank you. For anyone who wants to know how the show runs, this is our backup recording because it fails so much, but we like to keep having a backup recording just in case the other one fails, so that we can deliver to the podcast listeners, of which we know there are many non-bot ones. Thanks to all the replies that came in.
Indeed, yes, our mini non-bot podcast listeners. We still haven't heard from all of them, so there might be some bots in there, but
no, there have not been 1,000 people who've done it. But actually, I'm surprised at the number who have. So yesterday we announced that we had started this the show Instagram page, which is at Plant-Based Morning Show on Instagram, and I really had a good time yesterday fielding the DMs that came in on that channel. I knew that we were kind of making something cool here. What I didn't expect is how many people would write in with like knowing inside jokes. People write to me about corn chips and lawsuits in the grocery stores they were looking for. Someone else wrote and said that they're really loving the alcohol or the low alcohol Guinness. I guess we can call them non-alcoholic, less than 0.5% beer. So a lot of people just into the show, into what we're doing, into the inside jokes. And it's super cool. So I really loved reading those and replying to as many as I could. I think I got all of them. So anyway, it's just fun. So check out that Plant-Based Morning Show on Instagram. I think one of these days, eventually, we will go live from that. And I'm just curious to see if a large percentage of people who follow that come. And maybe eventually that'll become our primary channel. But in the foreseeable future, we'll just be on No Meat Athlete and another channel like we currently do. So that is the state of that. Doug, anything else before we get into what really is breaking news for me?
Steven wants to know if we're going to continue the show. You've teased that you're traveling here pretty soon. Steven wants to know if you're going to continue the show while you're traveling, which is a good question.
You know what it's kind of like, Doug? It's like if you have a girlfriend and you're going to be separating and going off to colleges or something, and you just don't want to like face the fact that it's like it was a month away, now it's 2 weeks away, and you're just ignoring it. It's just not even letting it cross anyone's mind.
Am I the girlfriend here, or is the show the girlfriend?
The show is definitely the girlfriend.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting what would happen, what will happen. Then we're gonna, of course, keep it going. We're not shutting down the show for good or anything. Maybe we'll take. I mean, we'll certainly take a little bit of time around Thanksgiving off, like the rest of the country. So I don't know what we'll do. I think probably we'll keep doing it, hopefully every single day, just different crazy times. And mainly because I don't know my availability. It's not the time change that is so impossible. It's only 6 hours off, so like, we can still do it at this time. It's just that I don't know what's going to be going on with our schedule over there. But once I figure that out, we'll get that straightened out, and then we'll probably have some sort of consistency, just at a different time.
I think we should go live from our Thanksgiving tables.
Yeah, that would be pretty good. If you have quesadillas at your Thanksgiving table, I'm disappointed.
There's a real good chance I'm gonna have quesadillas.
All right. Well, I had a show. I had a plan. It was all set and planned. You know, everything's solid. Like I said, running a little behind, but then this happened. A bomb dropped that came across my Instagram feed. I guess it actually came out 2 days ago somehow.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say this isn't quite breaking news. It wasn't just published.
You know what it is? It's that on Monday I kind of go through all the sites, all the sources, and I find whatever there is. So I think this one I probably just missed, and then I don't do another full sweep till later in the week, or sometimes not even the next Monday. And so I catch things as they come across feeds or whatever. But anyway, this one is from Veg News. It's a typical best way to start off the show is with vegan meat release news. And it's that Beyond Meat just launched 2 new vegan chicken products. Here's where to find them. No big surprise. We've been talking about these products coming. Vegan popcorn chicken and chicken nuggets. I am not that excited for Beyond Chicken Nuggets, although I kind of want to try them. I feel like people tried it. People know about Beyond Chicken Nuggets. Somehow I haven't had them. I had Beyond Grilled Chicken way back in the day before Beyond was Beyond, really. But I haven't. I don't know. I'm curious. I'm always a little bit like, I don't know. I guess I'm used to being a little disappointed with the plant-based chicken offerings. They're fine. The breading tastes fine. The texture is okay. And then they just sort of taste like nothing, which is probably what real chicken tastes like. I don't know what it is. I'm just never that thrilled. But it's fine. It's just nothing to be that excited about. Popcorn chicken, though, that could be interesting. Maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm excited about both of these. They're going to be available in Walmart and in Kroger, right? Are they available today? Are they available now?
It says this week, so yeah, I don't know. I think they're there.
So this is yet another reason why I need to make a trip to Walmart.
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
Because I would try both of these. I have a feeling my kids would love the popcorn chicken. Although I have to say, all right, so Veg News, you did me dirty here.
Okay.
I clicked the link. The headline graphic that pops up is fryer with chicken nuggets on one side and tater tots on the other. And then all I could think about was the tater tots. So the rest of the article, the article is just a disappointment because I just wanted tater tots.
I don't know how you even saw that. I assumed it was just two baskets full of chicken nuggets.
I can spot a tot, man. I can spot a tot from a mile away. Oh yeah.
Good. Well, you're right about the Walmart trip. I went there 2 weekends ago, like I said, and I was overwhelmed at how many slots they had for vegan meats. Like I said, they had the Impossible Bowls. They had the 4 different Omni products, those Asian things, pot stickers and other stuff, different pizzas, the Beyond Steak, which was not there, but they had a slot for it. It had gotten taken up, and just a ton more. I mean, so if you took $100 to Walmart and said, I'm just buying vegan meats with this, that would be a worthwhile trip. I'm assuming that there's not a Walmart that close to you, although there's one not. You could go do that, get a freezer full of different things, and then just start trying them and reporting to the show. It wouldn't be a bad move, actually. So
are you giving me a $100 budget here to
No.
to
No.
get a freezer full? Oh, okay, all right.
No, although we should eventually, once the show gets successful enough, we'll be able to get company money, get Compliment money. By the way, our sponsor Compliment is it helps us make this show every day. So
Yes,
check out Compliments supplements at lovecompliment.com.
and there's a ton of really big things happening at Compliment over the next month between the giveaway, which we've talked a lot about, and then Black Friday promotions. So
Yeah.
head over to Love Compliment.
Pay attention to Compliment. Yeah, lots of good deals. All right, so yeah, I mean, there's not that much more to say here. I actually bought the other day Gardein chicken fillets. I never do this, but we used to love the Gardein chicken finger things, and then we just kind of stopped and realized they were greasy and really junk food. But I bought a 3-pack of these things, and we had one for lunch yesterday. It was pretty good. And then I saw, like, an hour later, Food Babe put up some kind of story saying there are 3 cancer-causing ingredients in this food, and it was exactly the food that I just had for lunch, the exact same one, the Gardein chicken patty.
That's
so
unfortunate.
Yeah, and actually that's kind of a growing worry for me, is that I don't know, like I've been thinking in macronutrient terms and inflammation terms and these other terms, and thinking like these are really they're fine. But I do worry as the technology gets more and more, and we start introducing different things, especially with the 3D printing and the restructuring of the proteins. I just wonder, like, are we going to find out in 20 years that this was a bad habit? So I don't know. I'm just trying to limit it. It's fun. I like it. I'm just not trying to make it my everyday food by any means.
I think in 20 years we're going to find out that a lot of things we do are bad habits. You know, maybe staring into 2 different cameras and 2 different computers.
Yeah, and a ring light.
And a ring light every day.
Not artificial light happening at 11 a.m. each day. You know.
Yeah.
Okay, so Doug, if I can just get a clip of you saying I really like chicken nuggets or something. Each time we finish a topic, I need you to give me a clip.
I love chicken nuggets. Oh man! Okay. All right, so Katie, just aside here. Katie listens to the show, but not every episode. She just kind of listens when she can, and she apparently was listening this morning and just could not stop laughing at the compilation you put together. So good job.
Yeah, the compilation. If you missed it, that was yesterday on the November 8th episode. So you can go find that on the podcast or on the Instagram feed, I guess. But podcast is Plant-Based Morning Show. Any podcast place will have it. It's somewhere, 10 minutes into the show or something, I played that thing. And I'm going to put it on the Instagram soon enough. I just need to figure out how to get audio on Instagram. I think I need one of those. I mean, you guys put it on a reel, obviously, but I wanted to get one of those ones that shows the little sound wave moving up and down.
Yeah.
I don't know. Really what we need to do is make a video version of it.
Yep.
But anyway, also I saw Katie put a little passive aggressive kind of thing. She put "I stand corrected" next under the pictures that I shared on the Instagram thing, and like a hand clapping thing.
Yeah. She definitely called me out for throwing her under the bus there with the in the whole.
Yeah, well, I put the post up. I didn't blame her at all. I just said my mom had this evidence against Doug. Katie, so right to that.
Yeah. Oh,
all
man.
Right.
Okay.
So moving on from our breaking news. This is kind of a cool one. It is from Vegconomist, and it says Oatly commissioned study on performance of footballers on plant-based diet. So we were just talking the other day about Runner's World, who we also have a story from today. That awful article of theirs about plant-based diets for runners and for athletes in general. And it was basically acting like there had been no research done on this. And so we just didn't know how a vegan diet would affect people, but it didn't seem to hurt them. Well, now there's a study commissioned by Oatly, so we gotta keep that in mind. But apparently they did not had no influence on the implementation of the study, and this study basically confirms what Runner's World already knew, that the plant-based diet seems to have no impact on athletic performance, and that's done an 8-week trial, which is a very, very short period of time to assess athletic performance. And I don't have any details about like what they were looking at. Were they looking at metrics like recovery or distance covered during the match and all this other stuff? Because that's where you might see something. You're not going to see a difference in how many goals they scored, how many assists. I mean, those are just incredibly noisy statistics that would take a very, very long time to bear out any sort of advantage from a diet. So, I don't know what they did. Hopefully they used much more than that. Nothing that interesting, but I think it's cool that this is happening. I just research on plant-based and sports is super interesting to me. And it's still to me a big place where we can improve, or we can spread this message by getting over this hurdle that the idea that plant-based means, you're not going to get enough protein, not going to be strong.
Yeah.
The truth may be the opposite of that. So it's good to at least see that, it's coming up with a neutral finding.
Right. Yeah, there's so little information from this article about the study, about how it was conducted, what they were looking at, like you said, what metrics they were using. But what stood out to me is that it isn't claiming that the plant-based diet is transforming an athlete's ability over 8 weeks. It's just saying there's no impact. And I actually kind of like that. Of course, I think a lot of people see positive impacts, but it's also good to see studies that say that there's no impact, because then it's just kind of like, well, you can make that decision for the environment or for your health, or for, your long-term health, or for whatever, and it's not going to impact your athletic performance. So that food decision doesn't have to be specifically linked, I guess, to athletic performance. And so I think I kind of liked it.
Yeah. The article did go on to say that the footballers who adopted a plant-based diet also cut their carbon footprint by an average of 30%, as calculated by the IFEU Institute. I don't think that was part of the study. I hope not, because that would be a weird thing. Because of course we would know what that is if we know what their diet is, assuming we trust the methods. But anyway, I didn't get into many specifics. It was 18 footballers, and I think half of them ate a plant-based diet, and that's like one team, 18 players. Half ate a plant-based diet. The others kept their ordinary eating habits. Like you said, we don't know what they ate. Presumably lots of Oatly was in their diets. But I don't know. I found it interesting that Oatly is commissioning this study. Like they're playing a long game here by not putting their money into Oatly advertising, which is probably the immediate way to get people to drink more Oatly. But instead trying to demonstrate, hopefully, I mean, I don't know if they're trying, but I think so, trying to demonstrate that a plant-based diet is at least as good as another diet for sports. It's many steps from there that somebody starts buying Oatly.
They sponsor the team.
Okay, you're right. I saw that on the jerseys, and I did not really put it together.
So it must be connected in that way. Another interesting thing here is sportswear brands such as Adidas and Puma are also making life easier for vegan footballers by launching animal-free football gear. So that's
cool.
I
don't know this, Doug?
I assumed your love for Adidas was about something like this. So now I know for certain that
it was more about the 50% off sale at the employee store. That's when my love for Adidas really started. But they do that. They do a lot of ocean protection stuff and recycle plastic. They're trying. My shoes on the inside of them say end plastic or something like that. Like they're just trying to do away with plastic in the world. So kind of a good thing. Which they need, because right, they were there was some negative press around Adidas because they were one of the last holdouts with the Kanye West thing to kind of shun him or whatever. They eventually did, but I was worried that I would need to stop wearing my Adidas.
Yes,
I'd have no clothes. I would be showing up naked for these things.
Or wearing your one plaid shirt, not even a flannel shirt, your one plaid shirt.
All right, I didn't mention the team. It's SV Babelsberg 03. I think SV. A lot of German teams have that. I think it stands for, sporting club, some kind of compound noun, I'm sure, with a capital letter in the middle of it. It is not anywhere near where I will be in Germany. It's over in Berlin, near Berlin. So I will not get to see this team play. Steven, though, who's kind of our local football expert, as our local European guy, says you should do a segment on Forest Green Rovers, the first fully vegan football club. I saw that, and they were actually, I think, linked, maybe even in the story at the bottom, where they talked about some players who eat, or at least promote plant-based diets, and they included a link to that. So we should look at that and see what they're doing. But I think that is all there is to say about this one. Anything else, Doug, before we move on from soccer? No, I got one. My son, remember that day I missed when you and McKenna were there and I was at the field and there was all that filming and I put out a couple of things. That is scheduled to come out on Friday. So I'll have on our Friday show. Hopefully it'll be out in time and I can direct people that way. So you get to see what my son and I and my wife were up to, because we're all in the video a little bit. It's fun. Vegan footballer, though. And he wore his No Meat Athlete shirt during the interview portion.
Right on.
Yeah, which was actually a happy accident. Once it comes out, I'll explain how it happened. But so you can that's your teaser. All right, moving on. So we mentioned Runner's World and how they were, very hesitant. Yeah, hesitant to say anything good about the plant-based diet. It appeared that was Runner's World UK. Here's Runner's World USA, just Runner's World. And their article is the 6 best vegan cookbooks to get more plants in your diet. So I don't know
Hold
why
on.
you want to do that if it doesn't help with running, according to them. But if you wanted to, then we've got a list.
Okay, before we go through this list, though, I wanna put a call out to our listeners here to share their favorite vegan cookbook to get more plants in your diet, especially with the athlete lean, if you want. So let us know your favorite cookbooks in the or your top 1 cookbook. Let's say that.
Yeah, that's a good call. I always forget. I'm not used to this live format. I mean, I read the things that come in and I love them, but I forget to like engage the audience and say, post us this. But I would like to know that a cookbook list is would be good to have. So let us know what your favorite cookbooks are. Back to Runner's World. That's my runners. You hear that? It wasn't loud. That's my running sound that I have added. So the 6 best vegan cookbooks, Doug. Number 1, and subheadlined as easiest recipes. Plant You by Carly Bodrug. We talk about Carly fairly often in the show. Go Carly. Her book became a New York Times bestseller. She is an idol of my daughter, Sunshine Sparkle Pants, on Instagram. Don't follow her though, because we're not approving request to follow her. But she sometimes comes in. She loves the show too. And I really want to get Carly on the show. One of these days she's going to join us. I'm going to convince her. I mentioned to her that we were talking about this list, but she didn't respond. Who knows what's going on up in Toronto? But anyway, we had her on No Meat Athlete Radio. I think we did some lives with her as well around her book launch. And it is really a great book. If you have not gotten your hands on Plant You yet, it went completely out of stock when it came out. It was like gone, which happened with the No Meat Athlete cookbook, and it sucked. So it no good. But when it came back, I think she may have actually gotten on the bestseller list again when it came back, which is awesome.
Oh, that's cool.
I think so. So anyway, great book, very visual, Instagram inspired kind of book because it shows all the recipe or the ingredients like shots. It's a kid friendly cookbook for sure. But it's also if you're just sort of like it says, easiest recipes. If you're just kind of lazy or want to throw something together, Carly makes it very easy, and her food is always good. So I would highly recommend that one. Next is the best comfort food, Unbelievably Vegan by Charity Morgan. Do you know this one, Doug? You're clapping here.
No, I don't. I'm going to clap for everybody. So just
okay. I think you were clapping because Carly was our
friend. No, I don't know this one. This is one I've never heard of her or the cookbook. So it's I'm glad to see it.
I have heard of her, but I didn't ever really know what. I guess I've seen in the Game Changers apparently. And it says if you're trying to convince someone to begrudgingly join your vegan diet, I mean that's not me at all. And I don't know if runners will think that's what we do. But you'll have to convince them that they can still have some of their favorite foods. This cookbook has recipes for vegan versions of all your favorite comfort foods, and it's described as fantastic and absolutely delicious. So there are a few books that do that do the comfort food thing and turn them all vegan. So that's cool. I saw someone mentioned Vegan for Everyone. Yeah, Mr. Jeffrey, which is a really, really great vegan cookbook. That's one that to me any like kind of standard classic dish, many standard classic dishes, they do a very good job making a vegan version of it. So that's a great one. And then there's some others that people are mentioning, which happen to be in this list, but go ahead, Doug.
It should come as no surprise. I love comfort food.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all by that.
So a vegan comfort food cookbook, especially if one that doesn't require a lot of work, because that's my problem with cookbooks is I just rarely do I want to dedicate like 90 minutes to a recipe, but Charity Morgan is eating nachos in the cover of this comfort food book, so it seems like one that I'll be into. Corn chip in mouth.
Yeah, for liking corn chips so much, you don't mention nachos all that much. Is it too much distraction from the chip?
Yeah, it takes away too much from the chip. No, I'm a big nacho fan, so I can chow down some nachos.
Okay, good. All right, next one, best budget cookbook, Plant-Based on a Budget by Tony Okamoto. Am I saying that right? Okamoto, I don't know. At Ben Bella Books, publisher that I am a fan of. Do we know Tony? We do, right, Doug?
We do know Tony. I love Tony. I think she's great. She's been on No Meat Athlete Radio with her other book where she. Oh man, I'm blanking on the name of the other book.
Is it Cheap Lazy Vegan or is that somebody else?
No. Look it up because it's a good one. We cooked several recipes from that one.
Okay.
But her stuff is really good. It's all like family friendly and cheap and stuff. So I think I haven't used this cookbook, but I would recommend anything that Tony's put out. I love following her on Instagram.
When I Google Tony Okamoto books, number 1 comes up Plant Based Athlete by Matt Frazier and Robert Cheek. Number 2, No Meat Athlete Cookbook by Matt Frazier and Stephanie Roman. I don't know why, but those are the okay. Then finally, number 4 is one of Tony's books, The Super Easy Vegan Slow Cooker Cookbook. Is that the one you have?
No.
Why is Google giving me those books? Because I just
The
Google
Friendly
them all the
Vegan
time.
Cookbook. That's what the Friendly Vegan Cookbook is, the one that I have, and that's the one she wrote with I think
With
it's Michelle.
Sand,
Yeah.
I believe it is. Vegan.com. Is that her claim to fame?
Yep.
I think.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Cool. Good. Well, that's good. Plant-based on a budget's always good. There's I think it's a Robin Robertson book that is plant-based budget sort of food, old one. But I always appreciate a good $2 meal if I can find one for the whole family. All right, number 4, quick recipes. Fast, Easy, Cheap Vegan by Sam Turnbull. I don't think I've heard of this one. I've maybe seen this as like an Amazon suggested book. I kind of always figured it was one of those self-published deals where someone's just good at marketing, but maybe not. Hopefully not. I will say in humble brag fashion that when No Meat Athlete Cookbook was selected by Sports Illustrated as one of its 7 best health and wellness books of 2017, the book was not out. No one had read the book. No one had seen the book. It just happened that weekend we had promoted to our audience about pre-ordering it, and so it was at the top of the Amazon list in its category. I think I said it was Sports Illustrated that did that, not Runner's World. And so, ever since then, there's been a lot of examples of this throughout my career doing online stuff. But like you get the sense that these lists, you think that someone did a bunch of research to put these together, when it's quite possible they just went to Amazon and saw what was there and then summarized based on the reviews. Not saying Runner's World did that, who knows? But it's just anyway. It's published by Random House, so it's not a self.
Yeah, you're talking down on this book that we don't know anything about.
I think it's the cover design. It just looks to me like one of those, like the middle rack at Barnes and Noble where all those cheap books are that are like used to be expensive. I don't know. Sorry, Sam Turnbull. I'm glad you're promoting the vegan diet.
101 fast, easy, and cheap vegan recipes. Sounds great.
Yeah, but I have the internet
30 minutes
for that.
or less.
I just Google vegan recipes and I'll get 1,000,000,001.
Okay, all right. We should not put down this book that we have never looked at.
We should. You're right. I don't know why we are. I have no reason to put this down. I just don't know. Okay, let's move on. Number 5, the Korean Vegan Cookbook by Joanne Lee Molinaro. I mentioned this one a few weeks ago when I went out to the Korean market to get some ingredients. Had a bunch of recipes planned and came home nearly empty-handed because I could not figure out what was what, and I was just too shy to ask somebody. So I got a couple ingredients. I ended up making a few recipes, and they were pretty good. I'll give them an 8 out of 10. I was hoping to be a little more blown away than I was, but in fairness, I didn't do the complicated recipes because I couldn't get the hard ingredients to find for me. I probably should just get them on the internet. I don't need to go to the market to do that. No. What am I doing?
It was a New York Times bestseller. It's James Beard Foundation 2022 award winner. This is a big book, and several people have mentioned it in comments. I don't know if they mentioned it here today, but there's been a lot of chatter about this book, which is really cool. And what I love about it, I haven't cooked anything from it, but what I love about it, it's very different than all of the rest of these. That is, just kind of like easy foods we're familiar with.
Yes, right. This is not that. The subheadline, how each one had a thing, like it was quick recipes for the one above here, best budget for that. This one is much more than kimchi. Is that fair to say? I figured in this world that you couldn't say something like that. That sounds like just a massive stereotype that's all Korean people eat.
I think that's fair to say. A lot of people think of kimchi when they think of Korean food. Yeah.
I mean, if I saw a cookbook, no part of my brain would say, well, that must be all kimchi in that book. I would just think, I'm sure there's a kimchi recipe, and there is.
Yeah.
But it just seems like an odd thing to say. But whatever. All right, so that's that. Yeah, James Beard. I don't know that much, but I have a couple cookbooks that are these James Beard winners, and they're always good. So I'm gonna keep going with this one. I really want to make. They have some Korean like noodle dishes where you make fresh pasta, which I am a huge fan of doing in an Italian context. So it's basically the same noodle that you're making, but then served with delicious Korean stuff. So I'm gonna keep trying with this one. And Mr. Jeffrey, I know, is a fan of this book.
Yeah, Jody asks, are all of her recipes hard? And Mr. Jeffrey has some insider tip here that they rate how difficult it is, which is great.
That's right.
Yeah.
Good. All right. And number 6, this one I also saw was mentioned by a viewer. I don't remember who. I can go back and find it, but it's the Bad Manners Party Grub. Best for entertaining is the Runner's World how they categorize this one. While the language verges on the unsavory, the recipes are quite the opposite. Foul-mouthed cookbook can teach you to make some damn good recipes that no one will think twice about asking if they're vegan. And they even put asterisks in for damn. They didn't even want to say damn in the Runner's World article, which I guess is good. Keep
keeping it clean on
yeah, right. Keep it G-rated.
So this is the Thug Kitchen people. The formal,
right, used to be Thug Kitchen.
Thug Kitchen. Yep.
And they changed over, I think, during the COVID period when there was a lot of stuff going on in the world, and they said we should not be called that anymore. Yeah. So Bad Manners. I'd never really done any Thug Kitchen or Bad Manners stuff. I used to get a laugh out of the language. It was funny. But because I had seen some of the recipes somehow and read them, and they were well written. But I've never tried any of their food.
We've created a couple of their like sauces, and man, there was something else that we ate a lot of during COVID that I'm totally blanking on. But I have always liked their food, and it's easy, and it's like, I don't know, just feel good food. So
okay, good. All right, Michael Palm likes my humble brag and likes the idea of judging a book by a cover, which he totally did. Yeah, I feel bad about that one now. I don't know why I did that.
If we judged a book by a cover, no one would have ever ordered your first book, Matt.
Totally right. Accurate. That is totally fair. You know what? I'm gonna get this book or get some of this guy's recipes and redeem myself, and I'm gonna talk about it and I'm gonna promote something really good from that book. I am. Okay. So that's that one. All right. How are we doing on time here? Let's move quick here. I've got, by the way, a Mr. Jeffrey submitted article. It's coming soon. So we have 2 more to hit today. This one I just thought was kind of funny. This is not the one he submitted. It's from restaurantbusinessonline.com. So that should give you a hint that it's going to be a little bit silly. The article is trending plant-based dishes to add to the menu. And they do acknowledge this is sponsored content from their partner, Basic American Foods, whose meatless crumble they managed to work into their recommendations. So fine, take it for what it is. But there was a report, the Center of the Plate Seafood and Vegetarian Consumer Trend Report, which told them that 78% of consumers allow all meat, fish, and dairy, but that's down from 82%. So more people are having more restrictions when it comes to meat. Restaurants are wisely upping the number of meatless options on the menu. So they put out a little advice here. If someone just, local restaurant owner looking to spice up the menu a bit, add some plant-based flair. And number 1, Doug, this is great news for you. Mexican style dishes proliferate. Do you love Mexican style dishes? Like when you go out to a restaurant, are you just searching for the Mexican thing on the menu to get, or is that just your at home like rut that you're in, or not rut, but you're.
I think it's at home, but I also love going to. I love going to Mexican restaurants. A good taco spot is like my jam, man.
Yeah, I like Mexican restaurants a lot. But I think I never order a Mexican dish at like a restaurant that has a bunch of dishes. I just don't.
Yeah, I would say that's accurate. Yeah. I eat too much of it at home.
I just have this expectation it's not going to be that good if I get it from a place where it's just one of many dishes. I don't know why. It just seems like it's going to taste very similar to whatever I've made at home, whatever I've gotten at other places. It just has consistent flavors, and in a way that's a good thing. But yeah, I don't know. So so there this report, which I don't know, of the popular Mexican options, this report found that customers would be most likely to order burritos, tacos, nachos, quesadillas, and enchiladas. I also have not heard you mention enchiladas, Doug.
Oh, I love enchiladas. Yeah, enchiladas are part of our probably every 2 or 3 week rotation. We get like a store-bought enchilada sauce that we really like, and do sweet potato. This is we do enchiladas from East. No, what's the cookbook author who was like the biggest one ever in the beginning, the one everybody knew about?
Veganomicon?
No,
not Isa.
Anyway, oh man. It's the first one I cooked all the way through the cookbook.
Oh, she glows.
She
Angela?
glows. Yes.
Uh-huh.
Oh, she glows. Yeah. She has a sweet potato, black bean, enchilada recipe, and it is absolutely delicious. Oh, she glows. Jody knew who I was talking about. It's absolutely delicious. And it's pretty easy, and you just throw on the sauce, and yeah, I like enchiladas. It's at this point it's getting ridiculous. I think I've said I like 6 foods today.
I was hesitant to make that clip because then I thought it's going to temper the enthusiasm with which you say you like new foods, or it's going to feel.
Now I am a little self-conscious about it now because I'm realizing how much I'm saying it. But
uh-oh, that's not a good. That doesn't. Okay, I was thinking I have no like Mexican food sound, and so I just found one on the fly. But sometimes when you do that, you don't know what you're gonna get. So that's what we got.
That was a risky move there.
Yeah, I know.
All right, so Mexican dishes. This article we should mention is sponsored by Basic American Foods.
Oh, I just lost your audio, Doug.
Oh, got a call there. I might have cut out. This is sponsored by Basic American Foods. So like, they recommend using the different foods in there. So
yeah,
anyway,
we're skipping that. So we got Mexican dishes. Asian options offer opportunity as well. So we've got offer trending Asian dishes that are plant-based. Asian-inspired options such as stir-fry, fried rice, rice bowls, pot stickers, dumplings, and noodle soups can all be made with plant protein crumbles from this sponsor. So no real surprise there. This sounds like what you like. People at Chili's are reading this article and or like TGI Fridays, and that's how they pick their one little thing that they have the plant-based option for, where you can put the plant meats in. I don't really know if that's true or not, but I don't know. Like, this is fine. I'm glad this is happening. I'm glad restaurants are doing this, but these don't seem like they're going to be very good dishes. I'm just just guessing. And finally, familiarity wins. So if you pick these, I don't know. Plant-based options on menus have grown 2,770% since 2017. That is a massive uptick. That's a 27x uptick.
Wow.
Yeah, I have not noticed that, not to that extent, but that's great. So anyway, if you have a restaurant, then there's some tips. I don't think if you have a restaurant, you probably don't need these tips. All right, so Plant-Based Lucy wants you to put a little more passion into the likes, Doug. Yeah, we got to get good clips. Okay,
I get it. I'm sorry.
That's right. All right, and finally, this might be our first. Maybe there's another one. Steven has definitely sent me stuff that we've talked about on the show, so that's not fair to say. But one of our first viewer submitted articles. It's all sizzle, no steak: how Singapore became the center of the plant-based meat industry. And so I thought for a second when I read that headline that this was another one lamenting the downfall of the plant-based meat industry, just piling on, all sizzle, no steak. Because there's another article from Washington Post that has a very, very similar first line to that, and it was all something else I didn't understand.
All hat, no. No meat. Something weird.
Right. But anyway, so Singapore is the center of the plant-based meat industry. I didn't know that, but apparently I mentioned, I think, yesterday that cultivated meat is the new term for what they're going to be calling cell-based meat. That came out of the Asia Pacific Agri-Food Innovation Summit, which was held in Singapore. Singapore is a city-state, which oddly enough, we just were discussing that 2 days ago when we talked about the world's top 10 vegan cities, and Singapore came up in, I think, around number 5. And so anyway, Singapore, apparently a plant-based hub. It's actually an interesting article about the confluence of factors that kind of made Singapore a great place for this to happen. One is that they import 90% of their food. So they have a new initiative to grow more, produce more food of their own. And I guess as a tech option, this was one that they're going into. They don't have a lot of farmland. They have less than 1% farmland of their small 700 square kilometer island. So, that's not how they're going to produce a lot of food, but this high tech stuff certainly could happen. And then the other thing I think was, they don't have farmers. So there's not a lot of industry pressure against plant-based meat producers. So seems like the perfect storm for plant-based meat. Interestingly, I thought the article started out interestingly with they became the first country to approve the commercial sale of a protein grown out of thin air, according to its marketing tagline. So it's kind of like Parmesan. It's a yellow powder, and it comes from microbes that are fed only gases: carbon dioxide, hydrogen, and oxygen. Oh, and some nutrients. But they're taking air basically and turning it into something like plant-based cheese. So it's amazing what's happening. Oh, and by the way, they have approved the commercial sale. They're the first country to approve the commercial sale of cultivated meat in the form of chicken nuggets and chicken breast produced by Good Meat. So we were talking about that yesterday as well. That there was this plant-based dog food or cell-based dog food, and we said it. That seemed like that was happening, but we didn't know where things stood with the regulation and all that around having this for human consumption. But in Singapore, it's happening. So that's they're doing they're only country currently having cell-based, fermentation-based, and just regular plant-based meats. So hats off to Singapore.
What I think is cool about this is it drives home really what we've been talking about with the cell-based meat in general is that it's only going to become popular when it's driven by some sort of necessity, either price or in this case, access to not have to import all their food. This stuff could potentially be a game changer for a lot of countries and people who maybe don't have access to the type of food or as much food as they need. And I think this is great as long as they can keep driving price down and all that kind of thing. This could really increase access to plant-based meats and drive down the consumption of animal meat. So I'm in support of Singapore here. I think it's cool. I think it's cool what they're doing and to be on the front to kind of be on the front lines of this and be innovating in this way.
You won't wear a T-shirt saying "I support Singapore." I'm in support of Singapore, will you?
I don't think so. No? I don't think so. No.
Apparently, one more fun fact here: the first lab-grown burger ever produced cost $300,000 to produce in 2013, which seems like a long way to go. I wondered if that is that the whole cost of the factory and the research and everything that they're counting?
Yeah, it had to have been from like idea to. Right. I mean, maybe not. I don't know.
All right, so BWKR, who I think was someone said maybe they're a new listener or something, because I saw their comment earlier. They said they love Singapore, so that's cool. I was thinking about this. I thought, what do I know about Singapore? Because this came as sort of a surprise to me. I thought I wouldn't think Singapore would be the plant meat epicenter, and I thought, what do I know about Singapore? I know they have amazing math programs. Both my kids do Singapore math as their learning program, so good math education. Okay. I remember from the 90s there was the caning incident. Do you remember the caning thing? I think his name was Michael. I googled this. Michael Fay. It was all over the news. 1994. American in Singapore had stolen road signs and vandalized cars and things, and he was being held there, and he was going to be caned, and which was their form of corporal punishment. I don't know if they still do it, but they did then. And it was big news in the U.S. because the U.S. was trying to negotiate and reduce the number of caning strokes or lessen maybe get out of the caning entirely. And I remember just being shocked. I couldn't believe there was a country where they would cane people, and that was the penalty. But anyway, he was caned. His sentence was reduced from 6 to 4. And anyway, that's just so I remember that one. And I know that Singapore is one of the happiest places in the world because it was in Dan Buettner's Blue Zones of Happiness book, which was his kind of where he went away a little bit from the health thing and talked about happiness. And Singapore is one of the happiest places in the world. So now I can add plant-based epicenter and one of the top 5 vegan cities in the world. So
I think it's also a big crypto spot.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we have very little idea what day-to-day life is in Singapore.
Yeah, exactly. And so does Stephen here admits that as well. I know embarrassingly little about Singapore, and as do I, which is unfortunate. I need to learn more about Singapore.
Right. So just like that one cookbook that we're going to cook a little bit from, we're going to also learn a little more about Singapore and report.
Maybe we should do we always keep talking about doing road trips, Matt. Maybe we should road trip to Singapore, have some of this plant-based meat.
Maybe. Just don't vandalize any cars or steal any road signs while you're there.
Yeah.
Okay. So I went to do a couple shout outs, Doug, from the I wish we had a sponsor name, like the 1-800-Flowers multi-stream chat box. I never really see those. But some people said Awakening to Vitality has been to a few of these. How are you guys doing this morning? How are you gents doing this morning? We are doing well. Thank you. And let's see. Some other people said Awakening to Vitality again says the Blue Book, No Meat Athlete, is the only cookbook I have. So I like that they're calling that the Blue Book. That seems like a cool thing.
Yes.
Someone else says She Glows is good. someone else says Tony Okamoto or Akimoto is part of the World Vegan YT channel. Okay, with
YouTube
Michelle
channel.
Sen, who we talked. Yep,
Yep.
YouTube. YT's YouTube. And then someone else, another vote for the Korean vegan cookbook. So
Cool.
good. Thank you, those who are watching on the non-Instagram platform. But if that's you, I will beg you to come over to Instagram where the real fun is. But it's not everybody's place, so it's okay. All right, Mr. Jeffrey says that Singapore is super progressive. Oh, I didn't say where that article was from, by the way. That Singapore article was from The Guardian. Big time news. And they have the best airport, says Jody. Look at all these facts we're compiling about. And there's a rain shower thing in the airport. Whoops. Lost me for a second there. Sorry about that. Yeah, whenever my low power goes on, you lose me. Okay. So I think, Doug, that is it. I think we've done a good job with the headlines today, and there's nothing more to say about them. Anything else?
No, I think we should wrap up here. This has been a long one, but it's been a good one. So
yeah, it has. All right. So final plug. I'm Real Matt Frazier on Instagram. Doug is It's Doug Hay on Instagram, and of course, the Plant-Based Morning Show is under the channel Plant-Based Morning Show or account Plant-Based Morning Show. So go there. We're posting stuff that is fun little sideshow to the show. Like things that are referenced in articles or in the show, you get to see pictures of them in real life. So far, it's just my dog that got adopted and the pictures my mom sent me about Doug's wrongness about Aldi. But I'm going to put that little clip up there, the funny Doug Snacks clip, and we'll put lots more good stuff up there. So check that out, please. And a lot of people are doing that, so I appreciate it. That'll become a nice little hub for this show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alrighty. Well, thank you,
thanks everybody.
Doug. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and we will be back tomorrow.